airing of grievances. Chris, what do you got for me this week?
Well, okay. I'm going to start off strong here, all right? And I'm saying stick a fork in the Atlanta Falcons, right? I'm going there. And I'm saying also for the Cincinnati Bengals, yeah, you can kind of stick a fork in them as well, right? I mean, we know they're building with it. And my point here is, like, Julio Jones, A.J. Green, trade him. Put him on the trade block. That's the first thing I want to say. You know, hey, these teams need to be rebuilt. Atlanta, it's over. I mean, it's over. They need to, like, start back from scratch, rip the Band-Aid off. They're too top-heavy. We see once again a few injuries happen, and they just can't compete because of that. And for me, the time is now. You know, Calvin Ridley's the guy anyways there. And Julio Jones is getting to the point of his career where we see he's banged up a lot. He can barely practice. He plays in the game. You know, he's always fighting this type of thing. To me, where I would just rebuild my team here and get some assets for a guy like Julio Jones, and that's the same for A.J. Green. They got young receivers there in Cincinnati. You know, Boyd and Higgins are becoming the go-to guys. Mixon's good in the pass game. They got enough there. You know, they can maybe get some significant value in a year like this for some teams who are wide receiver needy that think, oh, we're a Super Bowl contender, and you might, you know, get a first-round pick for A.J. Green or, you know, or something like that. And certainly for Julio Jones, to where it could really help your football team going forward. So not sure if that's a grievance or just something that's kind of been, like, on my mind this week, and I think it's enough. It's time to move on from those guys.
I agree with you that both guys should be traded. I agree with you that the Falcons are done. I don't agree that it's time for the Bengals to throw in the towel because I think the Bengals now.
They're not throwing in the towel. I
Right,
don't want to say
right.
that. They're different than like Atlanta, but they have young guys there to where I feel like
Right.
they can grow together with Burrow already.
If they can get now, and look at last year, what Mohamed Sanu generated for the Falcons, a second-round pick.
Steal.
Emmanuel Sanders for the Broncos, a third-round pick.
Right.
If there's something like that lurking out there for the Tuesday after Week 8, then you do it. Now, the COVID-19 situation is going to complicate the deadline deals this year because you basically need a one-week runway to have a player go from one team to another team. So there may be no trades this year. I don't know. But A.J. Green, it feels like the sun has set on his time in Cincinnati, and the sun is rising on Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd, and they're building it a different way. Right. So get what you can and move on. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to rule out the Bengals being competitive this year. Falcons, yes. Bengals, no.
Yeah.
And look, one of the reasons why the Bengals can't be competitive this year is they're stuck in a division with the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Yeah.
Ravens are 3-1, Steelers are 3-0, Browns are 3-1, and here are the Bengals at 1-2-1. We're in the basement. If they were in the NFC East, they'd be in first place.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles, 1-2-1. And this is something that I'm going to keep bringing up year in and year out until they fix it. I hate this. It looks good on paper. It's all configured very nice. There's symmetry. 2 conferences, 4 divisions, 4 teams per division. It all looks good. But the idea that all you have to be is the least crappy of 4 awful teams, and you get a playoff berth and you get to host a playoff game is unfair. And now that we have 7 teams per conference, I think it just highlights even more that you shouldn't have a home game automatically because you're the none of the above candidate in your division. That shouldn't be the way it is. And the Eagles-Bengals comparison is the best way to prove that. Eagles right now would host a playoff game. Bengals would be left in the dust, and they got the same damn record, and they met in a game and they tied. But it's all because of your predetermined placement in what conference and division you're in that determines whether or not, Chris, you've got a playoff spot. It's wrong. They need to change it.
I mean, that's a valid argument. I mean, there really is. It doesn't happen like this very often. But when it does, it's glaring, like you're talking about right now. And, yeah, I don't know what they do to, like, fix the situation.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.